Hi everyone, welcome to day 3 of Spark Learning. So today we are going to talk about storage type in Spark. So why this is important? Because we are going to all the activities which we are going to deal here with files, right? You will be taking the files into memory and running your query, processing your data, doing your calculations and write that back to the storage. So in order to do that, like we have two data types, two storage type which we can refer, that is RDD, restly and distributed data sets, and data frames. So data frames are used for structured and RDDs are used for unstructured. And you can see the differences already in the screen. Uh, like data frame support the structured data, so that like it will support the schema and all these things. And we have temporary view, that like by creating the temporary view you would be able to running SQL queries against the data set. We'll be going into the practical of all these things. And we have various data types, like file types, storage type, you can see Hive, Parquet and all these things. So these are the types which you would be using when you store the data into data data lake or S3 bucket and all these kind of storages. Okay, and I just wanted to code delta lake, then we'll move on to the Databricks. So delta lake is a new type of files which we can say, which is supported by Databricks, which also support the delete insert operations. It is not just in Databricks, we will be able to use this when you do the PySpark coding in Synapse and all these things. So since we are using Databricks, we will definitely be able to try creating the delta lake files. So keep this in mind when you have to do like logging and you wanted to do insert update kind of operations. We don't need to always rely on databases. You can still do that in file operations. You have to have the delta lake file format implemented there. Okay, so with that we'll move on to the query window. I already have logged into the Databricks. So I have my cluster creator. Cluster is already running. So what we are going to cover today is very short. We'll just go into like loading a CSV file into DataFrame, and as well as like loading a file into RDD. So on the next class onwards, we will be going in detail into the different types of functionalities in RDD in one class, and then we'll go into different activities which we can do into data frames. Okay, so here let us, I have written a sample one, but we'll go into the details of how we can upload the files and read the file. So we have to go to catalog. In catalog you can see two options, database and DBFS. In case if the DBFS is not visible in your system, by default it may not be. So what you have to do, click on your name icon here, go to settings, there you can go to advanced. You can see an option called DBSS file browser. It would be off by default, you can enable that. So that will provide you, then you can refresh the page, that will enable you an option to the DBFS file, so that like you can upload the files directly and which can be used. Okay, and keep this in mind, it always again runs with a cluster. So if your cluster is not running, these catalogs will not be enabled. So I already have two files, however I'll show you uploading a file. So upload, you can click on here, or you can drag and drop the files from your location. So we will take our same files which we have used for the SQL learning. So I will use drag and drop my employee CSV file here. Then I'll click on done. So now I have this employees file available here, right? So now what I need the path of this file. So I'll click on copy path. I'll get file API path and Spark. So we are going to do with Spark, you know that. So we'll take this DBFS path. I'll click on copy. then we'll come back to our query window. So this day 2 loading files one. So here I have to provide the path here, so I'll just, not to lose the copy data, I'll just paste that here. This template. So this SC refers to Spark context. So we have this command under SC, that is text file. So I have provided the file name, and what we are going to do is RDD. So RDD is an unstructured data. So it is not really cared about, okay, it has a header or how many columns. None of this information really RDD cares, right? So in that case, like, all we are saying, okay, I have a file, read that and store it in RDD. So that is what I did with this command. And next command, I have written a print statement. The same print is there in your Python, and I'm writing a command, take 5, just show me the 5 values. So I'll just run this. Let us see how do I get. So I'm getting this information. So if you take, it will give you the all data from this, right? It is like it is printing the 5 rows. So you can see this is coming, and like the first one is header, and the next is values. But yeah, we are not worried about that. We will have commands to get rid of headers, and how we will doing this RDD functions will be coming like learning on the upcoming days. Keep this command. This will help you to read the text files. Okay, now I have the same command to read a CSV file into the data frame I've written. So here we will use the same location, the same employee file, and I mentioned header is true. That means, like, okay, I have a header, so you need to consider the first value as header. Don't read that into data. In fair schema, use this same schema as it is. So now I have this show. So let me run this code. So this df has this employee data, and when I click on df.show for 10 record, it showed the 10 records for me, and first one it has shown as a header. So now you can see the difference between both the result, right? This came everything in a list, and here it came in a good structured model, and like you can see this is like a table, and you have this first header came as a header. So this is the difference between like RDD and DataFrame, where like you will be able to see, like, so if you are trying to read an unstructured data here, this is not capable to manage that. The DataFrame is not capable to manage that. I also have listed few commands which you can use in DataFrame, like that is spark.read CSV is for shared. Parquet, you have to change that into Parquet, and JSON, you have JSON, and delta, you can use the format one and pass delta as a format, and you can pass the parameter. So that way you will be able to read data into DataFrame, the different types of files. So with that, that's all we have. I don't want to deep dive. Hope we had so much of information about file types and how you can upload. Again, just like enable the DBFS in the advanced, so that like you'll get this option, and we can upload the files here. So you need to start the cluster, I think which we have covered in the previous session, so that like you know how to start the cluster, and you can click here to copy the file path. So that is all we are covering here. So hope this is clear, different types of file and how we will be reading. On the next class onwards, we will be talking about how you will be reading, how we will be using each command in RDD, and how we will be doing the file operations. Let me see, I'll analyze like which mode is better for you, either I have to go with the comparison on some of the commands, or I need to go through one. Let me do some practical from my side, and whichever I think that is good for a layman term to for all of you to understand, I'll be taking that path. Hope this video is helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please add it in the comment. Like, subscribe, and follow for more content, and we'll be going for a daily sessions, and we'll be learning the Spark through Databricks in upcoming days. Thank you.